Hey guys, I wanted to make a video talking about several things that I personally aspire. I personally aspire to be a keynote speaker, to be a public speaker, talking on some of the biggest stages in the world, if not the biggest stage in the world. I can see myself sharing my story, sharing tools that I have learned within my story, and inspiring other people and giving them access to tools to help other people get through certain places they may think they can't get through. You know, I came up with a saying that says, it is one thing to know the path, but it is another to have gone through it. I want to help people get through places they think they cannot get through. And by me sharing my story, by me sharing the things that I have learned, I am able to aid and assist these individuals to get through places that they too may think they cannot overcome. And, you know, reflecting off of my story, there has been several different things, whether it's with my SMA or whether it's with life in general. You know, the one thing everybody has in common is we all have a life, right? And within every story, within every life, there is a story attached to it. And within every story, there are different set of challenges, different set of life lessons for each of us, right? And my thing for me is I have the opportunity to not only have this life, right? And my life is not the easiest. It's challenging. It's one that is hard to not only overcome, but it can be hard to keep an optimistic mindset. It can be hard to be hopeful. It can be hard to continue to endure. You know, when you're given a progressive disability and you feel like you're on this clock, you know, what's next? What is going to be taken away from me next? And to have those thoughts. And where I'm going with this is to be given this life and to have the ability to have the optimism that I have, and to also have, I'm gonna say, the blessing where I am able to utilize, where I am able to have this blessing of learning these life lessons and turning my trials and tribulations into life lessons of mine, and to be able to speak and talk and share the tools that I have learned within my story, I think it creates meaning not only within my life, but it also has the potential to create and have meaning for your life. And to me, that is huge when it comes to keynote speaking. Another thing I personally aspire to be a songwriter. I recently tapped into songwriting about a year ago and started getting into songwriting. It was something I always had aspired to do, and that journey began because I have my website victortheinspiration.com or victortheinspiration.com, and I documented a lot of my life process. I talk about a lot about my life, things that I have learned, things that I have learned and has helped me within my journey. And I started documenting my journey through writing, you know, by writing on blog posts. And I can't remember exactly how the idea came into mind, but I ended attempting to try songwriting. And I started listening to music, and I started to kind of see and understand, like, I started to listen to music, and then I also started to study the lyrics to the music. How do people, you know, when you create music, how do you begin it? How do you start it? How do you keep the middle interesting? How do you end it? Like, and there's different artists that write differently, right? And for me, I personally love country music. Country music for me is it's a form of music or a form of art that you can tell a story through. And again, back to my blog writing, it led me into attempting songwriting, and I've written several songs, and I even created a YouTube channel where I shared those several songs. Some of them, I believe like two of the songs that I released on my YouTube channel, The Victor Visionary, two of those songs, if I'm correct, maybe three, I want to say more so two, I actually reached out to a singer who was on The Voice and who was a contestant on The Voice, and I reached out to them to see if they could sing my song, and they did, and the song came out amazing. And the songs, I believe, were The Enemy Within, and I cannot remember the second one for the life of me, but it's The Enemy Within is one of them, and that's a good one that personally came from me reflecting off of a dark past experience of mine where I was on a psychiatric hold and dealing with these thoughts and going through these different emotions. And so I got into that. Another thing I personally aspire to be an investor. When it comes to investing, there's different forms of investing. You can invest in real estate, you can invest in assets such as cryptocurrencies or stocks or whatever. There's like several different ways you can invest. You can even invest into people's businesses or startups or whatever floats your boat. And the reason why I personally aspire to be an investor, and when I say invest, I mean technically when you invest into your own businesses or your own projects or even in yourself, that's an investment within itself. For example, maybe you want to invest into yourself, so you attend a seminar. Maybe you buy a course talking about mindsets or anything that you may want to grow in. There's course you can invest that way. When it comes to investing for me, and where I am going with this is when I invest, I am talking here about investing in other people's startups, investing into stocks and cryptocurrencies and all these different things. I basically want to invest smartly and wisely, where I don't have to worry about what's next. Meaning, eventually, me having, back to what I said earlier in the video, is I have a progressive disability, and because I have this progressive disability, I'm on this clock, and by clock, I'm talking about when am I no longer going to be able to do the things that I am capable of doing today? Meaning, in a year from now, am I going to have the mobility to continue to move my arms, move my fingers, my hand? Am I going to have that opportunity? A year from now, 5 years from now, even 10 years from now, am I going to have those opportunities? And again, because my disability is progressive, so it's a recurring thought. And by investing, I want to again invest smartly and wisely and diligently, because when that day comes, if that day comes, I say if because there could be more medical treatment breakthroughs, right? So when/if that day comes where I am no longer able to move or have the same opportunities that I have today, I want to make sure that my lifestyle can continue moving, can be maintained. Meaning my caregiving services, me being able to still have some form of quality of life, right? Being able to go outdoors if needed, or maybe my handicap van needs fixing, or maybe I need a new handicap van. I want to be able to have the financial opportunity to not only create those opportunities, but to also attain them. And a much bigger picture as well when it comes to investing is, I would like to, the reason why I put in a lot of work now when it comes to my personal brand or any of my projects really, is because I want to set up my mom's future. I want to be able to retire her and I want to be able to flip the script, meaning instead of her taking so much care of me, I want to be able to be the one to take care of her, and that's like an ultimate dream, a big dream. And there's even bigger than that, I want to be able to take care of my family, my tias, my siblings, my family, those closest to me. And by family, I'm including friends as well. I don't see friends as friends. I see friends as family. And I want to invest, so I can create these opportunities, not only for myself, but create the opportunities, to one, keep us together, to keep things going, keep us together, being able to invest smartly and wisely. And the reason why I said it can keep you together is because it creates the window of opportunity, to have get-togethers or cookouts or bringing the family together. And when it comes to investing, you have to be very diligent. But again, there's several different ways you can invest. Back to me personally, as I aspire to become an investor, which technically I am already doing now at the time of this recording. Another thing I want to do within my lifetime is I do aspire to be an engineer. By engineer, I'm talking about there are several different ideas of mine, where ideas / concepts of mine where I know could be beneficial, not just to me, but for like both the disabled and non-disabled community. There are several ideas where I look around and I see certain things and I'm like, that needs to be improved, or there needs to be a better solution for XYZ. One solution, one idea of mine that I don't mind putting in the video is I looked into it and it doesn't exist. But I know that if it benefits me, I know it can benefit. I can only imagine how many other people it would benefit as well. Which is, for me, I have a side rail on my wheelchair, and I'm not able to show you on the camera, but because I have severe scoliosis and because I lean, like I'm leaning this way, right? Because I lean, I want to engineer and create and design a product or a solution product where my side rail can be automated. Meaning, the side rail that I have now is stationary. Once it's there, it's there. So for example, the way I'm leaning now, I want to create the opportunity where I can have my side rail slide in, so I can like sit, like instead of it being stationed, right? I want to be able to have the side rail like sit me straighter up if I wanted to. Now, where I'm going with that is, some of you might think, well, why don't you just push your side rail more in to sit more straight? And the reason why is because the reason how the automated side rail would benefit many people is because, one, you can only put so much pressure on that side for so long before you can develop like sores, right? Or you can develop pain because you're putting so much pressure on it. But if it's automated, you can set yourself up, you can slide it out. And think about different seasons of weather. When it's winter, what happens? You're wearing jackets, right? So you'll be able to have that opportunity to slide the side rail out, right? To fit like your jackets or whatever you're wearing, your clothing, okay? And then when it's summertime, what happens? You're not wearing jackets, you're wearing like more cooling clothes, maybe like a t-shirt, for example, right? And you would be able to have the opportunity to slide the side rail in. You will have the opportunity to slide the side rail in. Now, they do have the side rail that works manually, where you need somebody else to do it for you, but having the ability to have it automatic would be a huge game changer. And especially for the individual with a disability, that is just one product of several different ideas that I have. And I do aspire, again, to be an engineer. I think building something and creating something from nothing, to me, is extraordinary and exciting. And I personally have always been one to build things, And another thing that I personally aspire is to be a music producer. Now this one, I aspire it, but I'm like in the middle with it. Do I really want to take that route? Do I really want to take that responsibility and really take on, not the responsibility, but really take on that path? Do I really want to be a music producer? By music producer, I'm talking about making my brand big enough where when, for example, DJ Khaled, when you have just one artist of many, DJ Khaled, when you have a song or artist attached with featuring DJ Khaled or Drake, for example, right? He's another big artist. What happens? I want to be able to create my brand big enough where when it says featuring the Victor Visionary or produced by the Victor Visionary, I might change the name later. I don't know yet, but that to me is just huge and exciting. If I can really create something within the music industry, I think would be really cool, inspirational. I think would be something that would be like extraordinary, because You know, to go from just an ordinary writer to a songwriter and then becoming like an icon or like a legend in the music industry, to me it's huge, you know. And like Simon Cowell, when you mention Simon Cowell in the music industry, you know, it instantly captures your attention. You instantly would love to work with Simon Cowell, right? Because he's like a legend in the music industry. I want to mention that as well. Another thing I personally aspire to be like a traveler. By traveling, I'm talking about, you know, I can see myself like being on the road, like almost 24/7. You know how some people like take flights to several different places, right? Whether it's for personal or professional use. I see myself being on the road. I can see myself being in a RV and having a team, of course, like a team of drivers and security and all these different things, caregivers, right? All these different things, and being on the road. I can see myself traveling, doing speaking gigs, traveling, working on different projects, or expanding my real estate portfolio, and all these different things. I aspire to be a traveler, to being able to explore different cultures and seeing different views of the world. I think it's beautiful. There's several different things that I personally aspire, but one thing of many is to simply just make my life worth it. You know, I want to be able to have this life and not just be given this life, but be able to turn it into something. You know, I want to be able to reflect back, you know, and be proud of the things that I did and not resent the things that I didn't do. And to me, that's huge. Anyhow, I wanted to make this video because I wanted to personally share things that I personally aspired and share with you guys and upload it on my YouTube channel. I think it's I wanted to personally document it on my YouTube channel as well. And what is something you personally aspire? Like, what do you aspire? Do you aspire to be like a teacher, in law enforcement, a firefighter, in the medical field? Like, what do you personally aspire? Do you aspire to be the CEO of a company, or what do you personally aspire? I love you. I appreciate you. Let me know in the comments too if this video brought some form of value to and for you. And always remember, grow through what you go through. Much love.